Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, Barry here again. Hey everybody, Barry here again. Something seems different. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I wonder if it's the fact that I had to scrap the whole engine bay to get one stupid bolt or pin, whatever you want to call it, this thing out of the header that I dropped because it came out of the hole saw and went clink, 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 right to the bottom of the header. That is, I was drilling a hole right here and it went ka-tink, 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 right down to here. And there is no magnet long enough or bendy enough to get that out. So I came into work at about 7 o'clock this morning to get this thing out. Okay, well, at least it forces me to do better. That gives me a chance to weld around my wastegate flanges again. Weld them initially. I'm gonna weld it right here. I know this is not perfect priority, but what I'm looking at is the exhaust comes out here, makes the turn, and I would say it would be a half decent angle actually to come out here. If it's not, I'll get boost creep and blow it up. But until then, who knows? So I'm gonna clean this up, weld that, and then I think I'll start wrapping the headers. They need to be wrapped anyway, because I added pipe on, of course, where I changed the location of the turbos. So I'll get another roll of wrap because I don't think I got enough left, and then I will wrap my headers. I'm gonna check all the welds and everything because I've had these on now for a little bit and they don't seem to be leaking. There doesn't seem to be any soot or anything around where any of the welds were. Like I welded 5 million welds or something in this, so you'd notice if any of that was burnt. And then I will check out the welds that I couldn't really see well when I made the other pipes, I guess, whatever. And then I can clean it up, paint it, and wrap it. Good stuff. And then I might work on a little bit of wiring or something because I'm gonna wait until tomorrow till my exhaust manifold gaskets come in. And then I can bolt it all back together and end up right where I started yesterday. Good. Got some welding done. Does it look ugly? Does it ever? Ugh. So I had to kind of go over this because I was welding this blind, so I was like glob, 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 and just baked a bunch of heat into it. But it'll work. So say what you want, I don't care. Anyway, I'm gonna go wrap this stuff now. I'm gonna have to, I think this side here will be just fine because it was pretty much that length anyway. This one here is much longer, so I might need to use more wrap. I hope I don't have to buy any more, but I don't know if I will or not. I'm gonna go wrap this up. I hope that I would never have to touch another roll of header wrap again because it is an itchy, glassy, fiery mess. I'm not into that. Poor me. I've already done this a handful of times, so I didn't bother to film it. But look. Look. It looks cool. It looks like somebody broke their arm in 45 places, and this is the bandage. Which I'm actually fine with. I used a hose clamp this time because I hate these clamps. They never seem to go tight, and when they do go tight, they always end up breaking or coming off. And I can't remove these without destroying them, so. And here is the passenger side. It sticks up straight just like that. And it's dirty down here. You can pretty much see the transition where I put in the good wrap. Well, yeah, it's coming along pretty good. So I don't really know what I can do now because I gotta wait for my exhaust manifold gases to come in. But maybe I can run a new wire because I do have to run a wire from here over to that little block right there. And yeah.
Well, I guess I can paint my exhaust.
So I've got to paint this here black. And my long tailpipe rigging-a-jig thing. So I can paint that, get it ready for tomorrow. When the gaskets come in, I can bolt all that stuff back together. And that'll be ready. Because I don't want rusty pipes. Nobody wants that. Let's paint it up. All painted up. That looks really good. I'm happy with it. I like how the barbecue paint goes on nice and glossy, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna look really nice. And then it goes dead flat.
And you're like, oh, that's not so cool. Whatever.
So I'm going to do the thing now that I need to do so I don't fill my engine and my turbos full of metal. And that's vacuum out each port.
Because I have been a very bad boy and I did drill a couple of holes, put a couple tacks. I used a plasma cutter once on the headers with them bolted on the engine. Don't tell anybody because it's kind of like a mortal sin. But I'm going to vacuum out the ports and then I'm going to blow compressed air in them and I'm going to vacuum out again and then I'll blow out all the pipes
On the headers here.
and really that should pretty much do it. Anything else that's left in there is going to be very minor and it's not going to cause any issues. I hope. It's a new day and I have gaskets.
Look at this. Here are our new Felpro gaskets. Part number is MS92467. It fits all of the LS's. I did install new gaskets when I put these headers on, but one of them, that one there got kind of beat up when I was taking the header off. And it got pretty flattened out. And this one here actually leaked, which I don't really like that much. So I don't know if maybe the bolts came loose or if the header was warped.
So when I had them off, I put some 80 grit sandpaper on a little block and then sanded back and forth the flange until it was completely flat. And in that one spot where it was burnt out, it took a little bit in order to get it flat or until it sanded any material away. So I think it might have actually been warped a little bit.
Which is kind of easy to believe because, you know, I did a lot of welding on this. But we can see that here now, it is pretty well completely uniform the whole length of the flange. And right here, same thing. Not absolutely perfect, like there's still a little bit there, but that's all I can get with sandpaper and hand sanding it.
And I think the gaskets will, you know, take care of that a little bit. So good stuff. I'm gonna go put this on time lapse, get this put back to the position that it was in or condition that it was in when I started this. Yay.
Well, it's starting to look like an engine bay again, except for that. That looks like trash. Anyway, I have my intercooler piping going over here, down into the intercooler. That's to the throttle body and the blow-off valve. and I need clamps.
Nice thing about never throwing anything away is I have a bucket full of junk.
Yeah, some intercooler piping. And here's a bunch of clamps. This stuff is all from like dump trucks. Some of it I bought new, but mostly it's used. And a bunch of boots and stuff. And look at this. Bunch of goodies. There's more of that. I'm probably gonna have to dig through this and find the correct size because there's a bunch of different sizes. I might have to use that on the throttle body actually, because it's very close and it actually touches the fan shroud, and I'm afraid that after a while the fan's probably going to hit it. I don't know if that'll be shorter, maybe tip up more. I don't know, we'll see anyway.
So I'm going to pick out some clamps, clamp that side together. The list is long but getting shorter slowly. I'm not going to worry about bolting this exhaust and stuff on yet that I've got over here. That's going to be sort of a last minute thing, or a last thing, because I have to run a lot of lines and stuff, clean up the wiring, do my turbo drain and feed, all that fun stuff, and the exhaust will be right in the way when I'm trying to do that.
And of course I've got all this stuff here bolted on. Dipstick is back in it, you know, this header's bolted back on. I need to remember the steering shaft, because if I don't, I'll be unpleasantly surprised. Radiator's bolted back in. This stuff is very easy to remove. I just take out this, and that bolt lifts straight up. There's actually no bolts on the bottom, it just sits into rubber bushings. Coolant hoses are all hooked up. I can actually put coolant in this now, or water. I think I'll probably put water in for the first time just to be sure it's not going to leak. And power steering lines are all good. Yeah, this is what I'm going to work on next, get this sorted out.
And then probably do a little bit of wiring stuff, get that tucked out of the way, because it's a mess and it stresses me out to look at it. So maybe that'll be my next step. I got a whole lot of stuff to do, and it's all got to be done, so it doesn't matter what order I do it in. So let's just stop complaining, get the work done.
All done. All clamped on. Now the only side to do is from here up to the... Okay, anyway. I'm gonna go put plug wires on. Where is the part number? Right here. 35-8346. Carquest wires. And these are stuck in the box. Come on. These are 90-degree boots, which is really sweet because with headers it is a very tight fit, and the wires... Okay, thank you. Oh, no wonder. The wires can be difficult to put on, so I'm going to use these.
Actual progress is good. That is, since I got the headers bolted on and got right back to where I was before.
I got my wastegates bolted on, and my dump tube is going to come right out through that hole in the fender. This one is on. It's not on a perfect angle, but it's whatever I could do. And that's going to dump down through a hole in the fender, pretty much like right here somewhere. And that'll kick right off there.
So now I'm plumbing in the wastegate hoses and all my other boosty hoses.
That goes down to this little manifold right here that Rodney gave me a couple of years ago. And this hose right here comes from the brake booster hose that's teed off right there. Goes in, and that's going to supply boost or vacuum to this manifold. This one comes right out here and goes to the map sensor for the boost controller. Now boost from right here is going to come off of this hose again, and then this one right here is going to go out to the top of each wastegate, and then these two bottom ones here and here are also going to see boost from here.
Now it's going to be one big mess of hoses, but I'm going to try to tidy it up the best I can. Basically what it is the engine is going to supply boost to the bottom of the wastegates to push them open. The boost controller,
via this Mac valve right here,
is going to put pressure on top of the wastegates to keep them closed to make more boost. I've got 6 PSI springs in the wastegates right now. That's absolutely more than safe, and I'll probably just leave it on gate until I get it completely tuned, which is of course a very good idea. And then when I'm ready to really put meat to it, then I'll turn the gain up on the boost controller. It'll apply boost on top of the gates, keep them closed, and we'll see how many pistons I go through this year.
So that's pretty much what I'm at now. You can see right here that the boost controller Mac valve is right there on top. The hose coming out, say this port, goes to the top of the wastegate. And then the supply from the turbos goes out and supplies boost right to the gate.
So it's going to be, like I said, a little bit of a snarl, but we'll get it. I'll have it hooked up in no time. And I think probably my next step might be to bolt the turbos on so that I can get my charge tubes done. Then I can get the turbo feed and drain for the oil and sort of figure out what I'm going to do around there. So I'm going to try to get as much as I can in one video so I don't have to spend a whole lot of time. I've got only a few days left before I got to drive like 1,000 kilometers in this thing. So I need to get, I need to take advantage of every minute that I can.
Now we're really getting somewhere. Yeah. All this stuff here is getting plumbed in. I just got some Y fittings in this morning so I can plumb in the top hoses. And of course, all wrapped. Oil hoses ran. That's the drain and the feed hooked up. Over here is the catch can that Brendan sent me that fits down there nice and snug. And it does have room between the headers. These don't get real hot, so I don't think it's gonna give any issues, but if it does, I will address it. Cleaned up the wiring across the firewall. This is gonna kind of sneak under the battery right here and also stay away from the exhaust, but I'll make sure to make that clear of it. Right down here is the 2 connectors for my 2 widebands. Boost controller, just gotta run the hose out here to the top hoses on the wastegate. So that's pretty sweet. So I got a lot of work done, and I don't have my exhaust bolted on yet because I can't find it. There it is. When I made this side of the exhaust, it's too close right here to get a bolt in, so I've got to kind of notch out these 2 holes right here, enough to have the bolt screwed into the turbo and then lay this down over it, and then I can tighten up all 4 bolts, and I can just get these here with a wrench, and then well, I can start putting more stuff together. So I've got a very short checklist now, actually. Make a battery box, clean up the wiring and the fuel hoses under the frame, like mount those to the frame better, bolt the seat in, put a couple of lap belts in it for Cass and I to get on the highway, and I'll upgrade the seat belts at some point and probably put 4-point harnesses in it, or at least a 3-point with the retractor. And getting very, very close now, like nervously close to getting this thing moving. I'm starting to get sick. I don't know if it's because I'm hungry or not, but yeah, I'm shaky and I'm nervous. But it's getting there. I also loomed this wiring here to kind of calm it down a little bit. I'm gonna put another small piece of loom on that just to cover up those tangle of wires there. But this looks a whole lot better. I know it's still not perfect, but it does look a lot better than it was. I also put the fuses in here and hooked it up. Ran a battery cable from this block down here over to the back of the alternator, which you can see is not there. Because the alternator was squeaking real bad and the pulley is kind of bent on it, which I don't know how that happened, but I might have dropped it or something. But when I turn the key off, I can hear this ringing noise out of the alternator, which apparently is the rectifier or something shorted out, and it kills the battery overnight. So that's no good to me. So I'm gonna rob the alternator off the Caravan. That's a couple of parts now that I've robbed off the Caravan. It seems to be getting a little bit less and less at a time. So I think I'm this close to being able to scrap it. So yeah, I gotta do that. I'm gonna try to upgrade this a bit more, or at least secure it better, because I don't like the way it vibrates like that, because that caused it to break. So I've got to figure that out. Maybe I'll put a longer pipe here and run it alongside of here and bolt it down or something. But other than that, it's getting there. I've also got to put tie downs in the bed right here and in the 4 corners, so I can bolt the motorcycle in the back. I just said bolt the motorcycle in the back. It's been a long week. So I can strap the motorcycle down and then we're just about done. Put gas in it, go for a drive. While the guys were cleaning the truck back here, I came back on my lunch break and bolted down my tie downs for when I put my motorcycle in the back. I've got one on each corner, and that goes down through this 2 layers of wood here and has a nut and flat washer and all that fun stuff on the bottom. So you could probably pick the whole truck up with that, and that's pretty solid. And I also got the downpipe bolted on. That was the hardest that I've worked to get something bolted in place. And now I regret not putting a flex pipe or something in there just to make it easier to bolt on. I had to unbolt one turbo, tip it ahead a little bit, bolt the 4 flanges on while Dwayne held a pipe wrench to pry the turbo in one direction to bolt all the bolts on and then tighten the turbo back down. So how well this is going to work, I have no idea. It could smash off one manifold and shoot a bunch of fire everywhere and blow the whole thing up. But we'll find out. But anyway, it's bolted down. This is done. There's a lot of strain on these bolts, but well, we'll see what the shear strength is like. The oxygen sensors, I'm happy with the location for both of these. Lots and lots of room to plug them in over here. It is close down here to the wastegate, but I am going to wrap these headers, so I'm not overly concerned. Or these downpipes or whatever. I'll wrap those after I get this and all that fun stuff plugged in. Lots of room away from the wiring over here. I'm going to have at least 6 inches of room there. Now I'm going to hook up the Ys. This goes for the vacuum hose. This is a 1/4 inch Y that's tight on one side. Part number is 80603. That's Daco. So that will split from this wastegate, or sorry, this boost controller port here out to the top of each wastegate. I know this video is going to be a little bit longer than normal, but I think I'm not going to stop this one until the truck is done. It's very close to being done. Just got to make up a battery box and mount it, and I think that's pretty much it. Clean up a little bit of wiring, tie a few things down, not much more than that. Mount the seat, but if this is an hour-long video, hang in there, because next time we're going to be driving it. Hopefully. We'll see.
So I know this video is a whole lot different than most of my late videos, but I've got some serious amount of work done, and I really just want to drive it up the road and take a little bit less time filming and narrating and a little bit more time lighting the fire, because I don't have very much time left to get this junk on the move. So what did I do the last little bit? I guess you saw this stuff here. Hose is all plumbed into the boost controller mech valve. It keeps falling off, so I'm going to figure that out. Really, it doesn't matter. I'll put a zip tie around it. This is all plumbed in. 2 wide bands are put on. These are old ones, so I'm really hoping that they're going to work well, but whatever. I just need to put that on there. I made this battery box, and it came out really nice. It's triangulated down here. It's very, very stiff, like, you ain't moving that. Positive, negative, as I said. I touched this on there, and smoke came out of there because this was touching. I can't tell you where right now. I think it was right there. Anyway, that was touching. It went, so I hope it didn't fry the PCM, but I doubt it. So I need to go home, get the alternator off the caravan, and put on this, hook these 3 wires up. Then I need to bolt my tailpipe back on, which is sitting pretty right there. It's just gonna go there, there, and put 1 hanger back here somewhere. And then what do I need to do? I'm gonna bolt the seat in, bolt some seat belts on it. So I'll pull some lap belts out of something, just so it's legal. I'd like to have 3-point at very least, or 4-point, 5-point harnesses in it. But let's be honest. I get hit in this thing, I'm absolutely getting killed. So however many belts is just gonna keep me in the vehicle, so they find me in the vehicle. So I got a bolt seat belt in it. And then I think the truck might actually be done. This is, you know, it's not bolted in right now. I gotta make some height adapters or something for it. I've got my transmission cover laid in place. I've just gotta get a few big screws and screw it down to the floor. Then we're ready for a test drive. Exciting. I'm absolutely rotten. I'm absolutely beat. I've put in a lot of hours this week, and only got a few more hours to go. So it's raining out, but it is daylight. Let's go see if we can find some seat belts anyway. So I've got the old Ford here, which has donated a lot of parts. Oh, yeah, that's great. Donated a lot of parts to the rat rod and the caravan. What do we got? Oh, we seem to have 1 lap belt right here. The seat's actually dry and it's been raining all day. Oh, stay, relax. We got a 3-point belt there, but that one's actually kind of cool. The retractors down here, panels, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. There we go. There seems to be, yep, there's another lap belt over there. So that's 2. There's definitely 2 lap belts. That's actually not bad. I better have another one home in one of the trucks I got scrapped. So that's perfect. If I can get 2 lap belts bolted into this and they're like the right lengths and stuff, then I'll be just fine. That's great, because Cass and I want to drive to St. John's in this thing, which is 450-ish kilometers, 300 miles, I guess. And wouldn't hurt to have seatbelts. If I get pulled over, I like to have as little reasons as possible to get tickets for things. So seatbelts is required. Anyway, more work. And I actually went ahead and made the intercooler piping as well. So this comes out of the 2 turbos. It's very hard to see, actually. Comes out of the 2 turbos, wires together right there, down here, and right into the intercooler down there. It's hard to see, but there's a little bit of a better view. The merge actually looks really good. I'm really excited about that. And it was cool to have that 45-degree boot there. That worked out really well.
And I actually also have to make these wastegate pipes here because I forgot about that, but that's only about a half hour's work. That's nothing serious. And I'm really excited to have that battery mounted. Got my alternator. I went and pulled it off the caravan yesterday, so I have an alternator now. Now I can hook up the electrical and all that fun stuff. Start tying battery cables out of the way, and then I've got to go out in the rain and take seat belts out of a rusty old Ford pickup. Very close, very, very close. I don't know how long this video is getting. Obviously I won't know until editing. I haven't added up the numbers yet. I'm not doing it. If it's an hour and a half, it's an hour and a half. That's it. Not finishing this video until I drive it out of the garage and it's ready to go. In the next video, we'll have a driving video. Good stuff. Let's bolt this junk on. Random check-in number 512. The seat's bolted in. Woo! Yeah, and it has seat belts. And they match. That's kind of cool too. They're both gray. Although I don't like gray, but whatever. Look at that. I put them in backwards because this piece doesn't reach far enough up through the seat. So I was like, oh, who cares? I'll do it on this side. That way the straps won't be falling out and under the truck every time I get in it, and I can just click it on that way. Done. Although I think I have something misaligned because the seat doesn't go back or forward. So I gotta figure that out before Cass drives it. But maybe with both of us in it and kind of scooching ahead, it might move. But it will work. I think a couple of the only steps I have left is to bolt on the tailpipe that I already have made, fabbed everything, put it right up in place and put a clamp on it and put a hanger on it. Then I can go over every nut and bolt. And the cool thing is, it's still daylight out. That's wild. I'm gonna put it on the ramp, put it up top, see if there's anything else I need to do. Actually, yes there is. Still gotta do the wastegate. I'll do that at some point too. Look at the exhaust on this thing. It fits so well. I might have to move that clamp because it is pretty close to the frame, but it shouldn't move anyway. Comes out here. Looks so cool. I love it. A lot of wheel gap going on there, but it's up on the rim, so the suspension is hanging. I'm gonna go around now and check every nut and bolt that I can put a wrench on, because there's always that slim chance that I missed one when I was putting a part on, or something that I said, oh, I'll go back and tighten this up when I'm done this. It's happened to many people before. You go down the road and something breaks or something falls off because of a bolt that wasn't tightened. So I am gonna do that. It's gonna take me about half an hour or so. And I gotta put coolant in this, which I'm just gonna use water right now. I'll change it over to coolant when I know that everything is good, and so I don't put 3 gallons of coolant in, or 2 gallons, and it gets dumped all over the road, or need to take it out to fix something. I don't need any of that, so fresh water it is.
Finally got the lights hooked up the way I wanted them. With just the rings. I think it looks awesome. So cool. And I also have them on a switch so that I can turn the headlights themselves on. So if we come around here, turn on my headlights. It's nice to have this little light on too, actually. That's a big difference. And all of my gauges in here seem to work. All good. I am getting very nervous right now. I'm putting gas in this thing, legitimately in this thing, for the first time in 2 years. And I tried not to tip this can over and ruin my bed floor. I'm gonna put some in it, let it run through the lines, make sure the tank isn't gonna leak or anything, or any of the fittings. So far, so good. All right, that's enough to see if it's gonna leak. Seriously? Okay. I have gas in it. It was a beautiful day. I just pumped gas outside in a t-shirt. I hate you so much, Newfoundland.
What the? Like, seriously? Why do I try? It is absolutely pouring out.
I was just about to pull the truck out. I want to move to Texas. Well, I changed up a lot of stuff on this, the exhaust, the intake piping, stuff like that, so I might have to change up the tune a little bit. But let's try and fire it up, see what happens. I can't believe how hard it's raining. That is so annoying. It's raining sideways. What is this place? How calm it is. Like, it's still loud, but it's not crazy like it was. I think those bullet mufflers calmed it down a little bit. It doesn't have the crackliness, but I'm gonna tune it. I really wish it wasn't raining out. When it stops, we'll go outside. Well, let's see how it goes. I mean, obviously we know it runs. I just put a new tune in it, so I just gotta get the scan tool going and see what it's gonna do. Well, pull it outside, see how it looks. I don't have check valves in the fuel pumps, and I know this is gonna get on my nerves. Because everything's all washed out. Got a sound to it. Wow. I want to test to see if the line lock works. Yeah, line lock works. Wow, they were howling for a second. See what the temperature is at. I only have water in it right now, and I don't know if I got all the air out or not. But it seems to be fine. It's only at 120 degrees yet. There we go. We're outside, man. How cool is that? Seems to be running well. Man, I love this thing so much. Beautiful. Well, it is doing the thing. I don't know if I got any exhaust leaks or not. I can't hear any anyway. I might have one small leak right there, which I can actually see that there's a bit of a gap there. That's going to give me trouble. I know that right now. But man, it's doing what it needs to. It's beautiful, and that clutch fan is actually working too. And I put an overflow bottle on it. This was like 20 bucks or something from Dorman, and I put some aluminum tape on here, but I don't think that's going to get real hot anyway. Like right now it's cold, so it'll only get hot when the gate is open. But I'll wrap that gate hose, that gate pipe there too. Man, it's actually quiet over here. What's the temperature at? Temperature is at 162. Oh wait, that's idle air. Oh, coolant temperature is at 154. Wow. Let's give it a rev. Nice. You can hear the turbos. There we go. Beautiful. Well, let's look over here for a second. I'm just going to take my error stuff here and see if I can't calm down this VE table a little bit, because there are times when it's really rich and then it goes really lean. It might have something to do with that bit of exhaust leak that I got there, but I'll deal with that shortly. I just really want to get this thing out of the garage, so that's great. Oh, I gotta unplug the scanner. Doo-doo. Beautiful. Well, I got it back inside now, and man, how cool is that? It starts, it idles, it drives, it goes woo, and it revs, it does everything it needs to. I don't know if it leaks, I don't know if it's going to vibrate, I don't know if it's going to be a big howling noise coming at the rear end, who knows? We're going to find out this week. I'm going to be driving it back and forth to work all week. It's Saturday right now. I have to drive to St. John's Friday, so I have 6-7 days to get this thing tuned and ready, and if I blow up a rear end, I'm pulling out of the caravan, putting it in this. I am not missing the show if I can help it. So, next video, we're going for a drive. I promise. Pinky promise. Pinkies don't swear. That's what I taught my girls anyway. So, I'm going to shut her down here. Thanks so much for lasting this long and keeping up if you have. And like I said before, I apologize for the length, but I wanted to get this thing done, get it on the road, and get it on the move. So thanks for checking out the channel, and thanks to all the YouTube members and patrons and subscribers, and have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching.